Welcome to the Apples and Sink podcast. This is podcast number 12. We are actually at 12, amazingly. It's been a long time coming. My name's Jason. We have over here
John.
And our third for the day,
Jennie.
Welcome back, Jennie.
Yay, thank you for joining us. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been like 10 minutes, 15 minutes for us.
And for the pizza and cookies.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm here to support, pet health.
Thanks for that. Weight Watchers also thanks you.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
So does MyFitnessPal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our interstitial conversation, we were talking about, in our last podcast, we had mentioned tearjerker movies basically designed to make you cry. Steel Magnolias is another one that I forgot to mention.
Ooh, oh, that one.
That I have seen. That is...
It's my favorite emotion. Yes, it is Dolly
Wow.
Parton. But I kind of want to kick it around and bring it the other direction. What we were originally talking about before was the reason we were talking about tearjerkers in the first place was because before that we were talking about go-to comedies, because my nephew didn't understand all the one-liners that my brother and my dad and I were throwing around.
Airplane.
Yes.
I love Airplane.
Looks like I picked the wrong data. Quit methamphetamine.
That's right.
Excuse me, I speak jive.
When my brother or my dad was walking, and go, "How about that coffee, Johnny?" and my nephew was like, "Are you getting him coffee?" I'm like, "No."
Or when I walk up to someone who's fat on the department, going, "And Leon's getting larger."
What can you make of this? Well, I can make a hat, or I can make a brooch, or I can make a pterodactyl
fly.
And he's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So I'm rattling off. My brother and my dad are rattling off all these movies.
Oh, I do it with your brother too. We got some.
Yeah.
We're going good with some. Gotta go back and get me. Somebody go back and get us a shitload of nickels or dimes.
The sheriff's are gone. Yeah. He didn't know any of these movies, and I'm talking about Airplane.
Okay.
Course,
Blazing Saddles.
School,
Was that Rodney Dangerfield?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Oh, and Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, do me. Although if you watch it on Comedy Central, shoo me. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
And Terry Farrell, who ended up on Deep Space Nine as Jadzia Dax.
I love Dax.
Yeah. So there's those three. There's basically any of the Mel Brooks. Young Frankenstein, of course.
What about his Shuka?
Frau Blue.
Yeah. Yeah. Glue in German.
Yeah. Is that what that means?
Yeah. That's why the horses neigh.
By the way, I've picked up some Hebrew over the years.
I wonder why. Because it's his job.
Yeah, people that I work with. But
Meshuggah.
Mel Brooks movies, holy shit, are they a lot funnier if you understand a little bit of Hebrew.
He does it. Spaceballs too. He throws them out.
Yeah.
Well, even in Blazing Saddles, because it's the German Jewish people in the wagon.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh, the circle train.
Yeah. Schwarzes, that is a very derogatory.
Schwarz in German just means black.
Yeah, Schwarzes means blacks, basically, and very derogatory. Like it's basically the N-word. Just in European, it's just accepted. Oh my God. Yeah. So Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, even Spaceballs, History of the World.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Monty Python.
Monty Python series.
It's the
Life of
round
Brian,
table.
Meaning of Life, Holy Grail.
Holy Grail.
Real Genius, which is
Real
love
Genius.
Real
Genius.
Genius.
Real popcorn.
Yeah, that was my thing. I couldn't.
As a baby, he thought.
Oh, that's cute.
Real popcorn.
And
right?
no, even better. There's a more twist to the story. Is years and years and years down the road when Jennie is pregnant, and you had Dan go look for real popcorn, and this is at the time when we were at the movie store, and he's even asking people, there's this movie called Real Popcorn. My wife's looking for it, couldn't find it. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Real Genius, but my brother always called it Real Popcorn.
Yep. Real popcorn.
By the way, there's a family video that opened up.
I know.
Isn't
Weird,
awesome?
right?
I drove by and I was like, wait a minute, that's a new mall. How is there a decrepit store in there already?
No, it's shiny new. Do you want to go? I think it would be
do.
fun. I want to go and
I want to see what's in there.
Up a movie. Because whenever we look for something on your Netflix,
it's not there.
Or the red box. Oh, it's out.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, the point of it's kind of like the red box movie. It would be nice to just go in and then here's your options. Which do you want for a day? Well, heck, I'll take one of those.
All right, are we taking a trip to Family Video?
Yeah.
I think we are.
Yeah.
Well, not tonight, probably.
So what else are we looking at then? There's
of those movies.
Comedies.
Eurofresh.
Eurotrip.
Eurotrip.
Eurofresh is
Wow, that's the grocery store.
Eurotrip.
Yeah.
And
Bratislava.
National Lampoon's Van Wilder.
Okay, and in
Oh,
our
yeah.
family, we got Strange Brew.
Oh
I
my
love
God, I
Strange
love
Brew.
Strange Brew. I love it.
I ain't gonna crash. This is a beer truck, eh?
No way I'm gonna crash this.
Well, you know how to drive this. Yeah, it's like a 12-speed times 2.
Holy fuck, Bob and Doug.
Oh,
McKenzie.
yeah, no, their father, who's Yosemite Sam, Mel
Mel
Blanc.
Brooks.
Close the goddamn door.
Yeah.
Blank, yeah.
Mel
Holy
Blanc.
shit, Mel Blanc.
Oh
yes.
my God, the whole movie.
Strange. Was that the movie you were talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Earlier.
Oh,
No,
fuck
that's not my go-to.
Okay.
My go-to is worse.
Okay.
really?
She's
She's been dragging this on. She's
I've
like,
been
no,
trying
my
to
go-to
think of it. I
comedy.
couldn't remember. I knew there
By
was
the way-
something that I always watched if it's on,
Also
and I
the-
always will.
The Bill Murray series of Caddyshack, Ghostbusters.
Yes.
What else? Oh,
I love
Groundhog's Day.
Caddyshack.
How quotable
I hate that.
is Groundhog's Day?
Hate.
Well, okay,
Hate.
so Groundhog's Day, I like it enough. I won't watch it over and over again.
Because
I
it
liked
gets
it.
real depressing in the middle there.
It does.
I just
but
hate it
find
because
it
I
so
work in the fucking
interesting.
town, and
Right.
it drives me nuts because it's
Oh, you
always
do,
on.
don't you?
Yes,
It
I do.
is. Yeah, he works where it was filmed, and we actually lived up here before when it was being filmed. So
As a
I
movie, I
think
enjoy
it's
it.
interesting.
Every once in a while,
I
but I
do
get
find
beaten
it's
over
interesting
a
to
head.
watch it because then you look at it and you're like, oh my god, that's the Swiss made store.
Yeah, you're like, oh, yeah, that's the city
Yeah.
hall, or that's the opera house, or
That's like-
whatever.
So it's
yeah,
recognizable.
yeah.
That's like Galena, Illinois, where they filmed
Field of Dreams.
the flashback scene of Field of Dreams.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either until 2 podcasts
big-
ago.
The big, tall staircase that he sees him walking down, that's the
Mhm.
giant, tall staircase that you can
Wait,
see.
you know your nephew went to the real Field of Dreams on his way to Boy Scout camp this summer.
Really?
They stopped off there.
That's
and
actually
they all
really
played
cool.
baseball in
That's
Field
kinda
of
cool.
Dreams.
I would like to do that. I'm not even a baseball fan.
Well,
That'd be
they
It's
have, like-
on your way to Iowa where you guys
No
stay.
way.
It's on the way.
They've got actors out there, like, don't they, out in the field who portray.
I'm
What?
not sure what they
Oh
do.
my god, I got
People are
goosebumps
being
even if
beat.
you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I think
I
they did.
wasn't there.
So, movie.
Jenny,
What's your
I
my
don't know.
movie?
movie, my go-to movie that I will watch
And she
every
swears we're gonna laugh at her,
time
and we
it's
said
on.
we're not going to, but that's a
Oh,
lie.
you're gonna laugh,
Uh-huh.
but then I'm gonna tell you why, and then you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." I love What a Girl Wants, and it's Amanda Bynes, and she's a train wreck. But
I keep getting that.
I know the
confused
song.
with- I keep getting that confused.
I know
with
I've
Princess
seen it.
Diaries, but it's.
No, I get
It's
confused
not.
with a Melissa Joan Hart movie.
I had a big thing for her, Clarissa. Okay.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you did,
I
yeah.
named my GPS Clarissa because she explains it all.
But so What a Girl Wants.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. What's the premise of the movie? I know I've seen it. It's been a long
It's
time.
kind of a Princess Diaries kind of thing. She's a girl that grows up in New York and she wants to find her father. So she goes to England to meet him, and he doesn't know about her, and he's in the House of Lords.
Oh, this is.
I
with,
do know this. Okay,
oh my God, what's his name from The King's Speech and
Really?
Love Actually.
Yep.
I know who you're talking
The
about.
Kingsman.
God, that's such a good movie.
That's a-
I just watched The Kingsman.
Did you?
on-
I
for
loved
free.
it.
I hadn't seen it, and I saw it for free on a flight when we went to the Grand Canyon.
Yes, that's where I saw it.
It's
the first time.
awesome.
It
Went out and
was.
bought the Blu-ray.
I loved it, and I wanted Mike to watch it so bad. And
I have
then the last scene came up as
With
we
the
were
explosions?
landing.
Oh, with the
No.
ass.
The ass.
Oh,
If you save me,
yeah,
I'll
when
let
she
you do
rolls
me in
over.
the ass.
Last scene,
I'll be back.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
It's
we're talking
Colin-
about the Kingsman.
right, the Kingsman. So yeah, I was like, well, I'm watching it on my phone as we land, and it comes up, and I'm like, oh my god!
Yeah.
And I like click my phone off as this ass comes up on the phone, and I'm
She's
on
just
a
a
public
little
flight.
level for it, yeah.
But then I'm like, crap, now Mike can't watch this movie. The whole movie is good. And then we get to ass at the end.
Mhm.
And it's not even just ass.
You know
it's
what?
what the premise to do with the ass. Anyway.
I'm glad you brought that up because I had totally forgotten about that, and I had told Elizabeth and Sammy that they needed to watch that.
No,
And
let
now
them
they-
watch it.
Oh, that
No,
last
no,
minute.
let them watch it
it.
because they'll be fine up to well, Sammy will be fine up to the last minute.
Yeah.
But that is my old man crush. I love.
What is his name?
Colin Firth.
Yes,
Colin
Colin
Firth.
Firth.
Love him.
He's a fantastic actor.
Oh, he's
I did
so
love him in
good.
King's Speech too. That was
yeah,
very well
absolutely.
done.
He did.
He's
And
so
Love
good.
Actually. His story in
yeah.
Love Actually was my favorite.
It is.
Where they're finishing each other's sentences and they don't even know. Oh
Mhm.
God, that just
They're my favorite. I really do like him. And I like that movie. I just think it's cute. It's a cute, easy movie that you can come into at any point.
You're talking about What a Girl Wants.
Right. What a
I
Girl
forget.
Wants.
So, is that the one where it ends at a wedding and she's
Mhm.
like a waitress?
She's
okay.
a waitress because she
And he
comes
comes in
back
with the
and
bow.
he
Yeah.
gives up his whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it had been the politician's his
Yeah.
politician that had
Yeah.
sent the woman away in the beginning.
I remember what my go-to comedy is that I'll stop and watch it, and I don't even know if it's necessarily a comedy, but I laughed every time was Pirate Radio.
Oh,
Oh,
I
that's
liked
a
I
that
really
one.
really
That's a
love
good
that movie.
I'd
Yeah.
only
You
seen
told me
that.
about it, like, no, you should really watch this. This is
Yeah.
about the radio station that would broadcast from a ship
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
England during the 70s when they outlawed rock and roll or
And
something.
Right.
they broadcast
Oh,
outside of the international
Yeah.
borders. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's
It's a good
funny.
movie.
It's a like
It is.
that's
And
a warm
who
part.
does
Like
that
this is
have in
awesome.
it from Love Actually?
Yep,
It's Bill Nye.
Oh
Uh-huh.
yes, that's
Uh-huh.
right. Yeah.
I like that one.
Selena. Nope,
S-
wrong one.
Celine. Oh yeah, that's. Although, you know what? I gotta tell you, as far as Bill Nye cameos, one of my favorites.
Love Actually, because we're going back to that
Oh,
again.
No,
love
no,
that
no.
one.
Well, I love him in Love Actually. No, the Doctor Who Van Gogh.
Yes.
episode.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a
As
really good episode.
one of my
Just-
all-time favorites is
Yes, it is.
Blink, Van Gogh.
Blink and Van Gogh. If you're trying to introduce somebody to the new Doctor Who series, do either Blink or the Van Gogh episode. Oh my,
They're fantastic.
And it's odd because Blink doesn't even have the Doctor.
he's barely in it.
And is this,
No,
you know,
but
whoever
it has a
does.
hard premise of the time travel, and that's
Yes.
what helps.
It does.
Because that builds it for the rest.
Right. It's really good. I like that one very much. And I like that girl in there. I'd like to see something more that she's in.
Yeah, no kidding.
I
She's
really-
an
Because that was a
interesting-
one-off. You
I
never
thought
see
that
her
they
again.
were writing her in as like the next companion or something.
I
and
thought
it
for
was on her way.
sure.
Nope.
And maybe she'll come back. Maybe she will be another.
You know, the other one who I really loved was the Christmas episode with Alonzi Alenzo.
Mhm.
Was
Oh,
that
Alonzo?
female lead? But because my
Yes.
sister told me she's apparently a huge actress in
Yeah, she is.
She's a
Australia.
singer.
She's a singer.
A singer.
Mhm.
I had no idea. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
of course she can't be a companion. She's probably busy. But
Right. Yeah, I was surprised. I actually didn't know she acted, but
she
I
was
think it was a
fantastic.
one-off
I
thing, but
loved
yeah.
it.
right.
Yeah,
she
that
was
was another
very
good
good.
The Titanic
I always wanted to
episode.
say this. Alonzi Alenzo.
Yeah,
And you made me a shirt that says that. I love that.
I
And-
did, yeah.
and Alonzo shows up later.
I know.
When he
Captain
sings.
Jack, he
Yep.
sends Captain
That's right.
Jack to
His
Alonzo.
name's Alonzo. That's right. Oh, good times.
Those are good.
I do have a
like-
Captain
keep
Jack
it on
crush, too.
He's
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
He's an interesting character.
Boy, howdy.
Somebody pointed out something about, or posted something on the internet saying that it's time for a female doctor because they've been talking about the next doctor being female, which would be, whatever.
And
I'm okay for
the
it.
doctors even mentioned it before.
Yeah.
It's not a unknown thing.
And somebody said, well, it's about time that we get a sassy woman on the TARDIS. And then somebody else was like, okay, but
Every
Billy
woman on the
Piper
TARDIS.
wasn't sassy,
Right.
and
Yeah.
neither was
Oh.
so-and-so or Martha or whatever. And
No, the
and then
redhead
finally-
was like the sassiest.
Oh,
And-
Donna.
Donna.
Donna Noble.
The
and then
Donna
somebody,
Doctor.
somebody else said, excuse me, are we going to say that Captain Jack was not the sassiest woman?
Yeah, that works.
Pretty well dead on. Yeah.
Jack.
Little periscope there. Go bye-bye. I love my phone.
Okay, good.
Oh, while we're doing phone and technology, I just signed up for Amazon Prime. I fucking love it. Like, I thought it was just because they're like, oh, get 2 days shipping with this. I didn't realize there's a whole slew of other things.
Yeah, I really
They
just thought it
have
was the
their
free shipping.
yeah, and they're like, oh no, I like it more for the music than anything. I'll pick this album and listen to it because you could stream whatever albums you want. I mean, majority of albums are on there.
Really?
Yep. And then they have their own movies too, and a lot of HBO stuff. So I've been watching Deadwood and Boardwalk Empire, and rewatching Generation Kill, and a bunch of stuff from HBO.
Without having to sign up for HBO in any way,
Nope.
shape, or form.
Nope, not even a little. It's fantastic. And then I have had, and I talked to one of the guys at work, and I may have mentioned this on podcast, but I don't know, I just love it. It just fills me with joy. And with Savannah, our 4-year-old that's running around, I
Just
watch
a
with
random
her.
one they found in the street.
Yeah, we picked
They
her up.
keep
She's
her
ours
'cause
now.
she's cute.
And we pet her and occasionally feed her when she's good.
They like it when you adopt strays.
Yeah, that's fine. And her and I will watch either My Little Ponies or I'm like, we're going to watch this because I'll get bored of it. We watched like Justice League or Batman the Animated Series, so it actually has Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Why so serious?
Oh, when on the convention. Anyways, Sav actually asked me now, can we watch the superheroes one or can we watch Batman? So today we just sat there and we watched Batman for 2 hours.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm in heaven. This is
Twist
so
my
awesome.
arm. By the way,
And she knows all the characters for the intro of the Justice League.
that's going to be a comic.
I know. I wrote it as a comic. I'm not going to break it, but it's good. I'm like, she even knows Martian Manhunter. Yes.
Our little. What?
Yeah, I was going to say Sarah, my 11-year-old, told me last night she wants to paint over the middle strip in her room where I have a border, and she would like to next summer. If I make it plain for her, she's going to draw out all of her DC characters on the wall. So
she's been doing Teen Titans.
Teen Titans.
I saw like
Teen
just
Titans.
random drawings. I'm like,
And she's
I'm pretty sure
11
that's
years old.
Robin and
11,
Cyborg.
She's doing them
Yes,
from scratch,
yeah.
and they're
Every time
Yeah,
I go there, she's like,
they're
Uncle
good.
John, look at what I drew. And,
Well,
and
now
it's
she's-
really good one.
There's some other show I've never heard of, and it's totally ridiculous. It was on TV, and I don't get it at all that she's drawing now.
I don't know, but she did some. I mean, and she watched
She
the
did
Teen
awesome
Titans,
Teen Titans.
and the Teen Titans Go,
Mhm.
and that got her into the regular Teen Titans. And I'm thinking, well, she likes Teen Titans Go. She's not going to like regular Teen
I was
Titans.
talking to Laura
Loves
about
it.
this today. What is the Teen Titans Robin's name?
Dick Grayson.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, because
You're
Dick
talking about in
Grayson's
the comic or in the
in.
the cartoon.
It doesn't matter. It's still going to be the same because Dick Grayson becomes
Right.
Nightwing.
He does become Nightwing.
Jason
If
Todd gets fucking murdered, and then there's a third, and that's the one that ends up in Teen Titans.
If you watch the original Teen Titans cartoon,
Yeah.
which deviates from we're geeking here for a moment, deviates from the comics slightly. There's an episode where it takes place in the future, and Robin has grown up to be Nightwing.
Oh,
And
really?
there's an episode where
Because I was
the
under the impression
anti-Robin-
that this was
no,
the
it's
third
not. It's
one.
not. There's an episode with an anti-Robin, like an extra-dimensional
Yeah.
Robin shows up, and his name is whatever Dick Grayson is backwards.
Ah,
I don't know.
so
but,
who's the third?
let's see. There's Dick Grayson, who grows
Jason
up to be
Todd.
Nightwing. Jason Todd who gets murdered to death, and
Bad.
to death.
Yeah, he
Not
gets
just
beaten
murdered a
to
little
death
bit.
by the
by the
Joker.
And oh boy, anybody who's listening to this is going to be losing their shit.
I know.
can't
I
remember.
always forget the third.
Oh, go to your device.
I'm looking it up on the
Reach for
interwebs.
device so that
But
you
yeah,
can
no.
find
When I
your
walked in your
information.
house, Jay, and I'm like, is that Robin? that's Robin and Cyborg? What is
Really
going
Robin, she
on?
actually got
She's really good at
canvases,
it.
Oh
so she
my
could
god.
pencil them all in.
Again, I just envy anyone who could do that kind of
And
thing
she
with
was
art.
kind of, I didn't think she was that artistic, and she started drawing those, and maybe she's going to be like Uncle John. She's just going to be able to do cartoons and stuff. I mean, not that you do others as well, but some people just don't do that
Okay.
kind of drawing.
There's been 5 so far.
5.
Well, yeah, the first one was Dick Grayson. Second one was Jason Todd. Tim Drake.
Tim Drake is the one I'm
And
thinking.
Tim
of.
Drake he's a natural detective.
Yeah, he's the one who actually found out.
He just figured it out.
Mhm.
He put 2 and 2 plus 2 and 2 and 2 together and said Bruce Wayne is Batman, and just knocked on his door one day.
Yeah.
Stephanie Brown, who was in there briefly, and then Damian Wayne is the newest one.
I don't.
Damian Wayne is his son. It's Bruce Wayne's son.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow, I
Talia's
really.
daughter. Or
You
Talia.
were
Oh,
talking
I
to
love
somebody
Talia.
at my house about
I
that.
love that love interest.
Weren't you? Were you talking to Sarah about
Probably.
a son?
Probably. I don't know.
I actually like
may have asked.
Talia
Oh,
Ghul
yeah.
over
Talia Ghul.
Selena Kyle as a love interest.
I like. See, Talia works on a more worldly level. Selena works on a Gotham level, which there's 2 different Batman.
Well, the only
Yes, there
Batmans
are.
I ever watched I don't like any of them. I have
Yeah.
to say, I'm sorry, I don't like
No.
any of the movies.
Mhm.
We get
I
it.
would watch the kind of comedic cartoon original ones.
Eh.
Yeah, the
Your
original
Michael
series.
Keaton. No, the movies.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I
watched-
you
can't
were talking
stand
about
those.
those.
the Jim Carrey, Val Kilmer.
Yeah, I'll
yeah,
watch.
campy
I
George Clooney.
watched those. I didn't love them, but I watched them. I will not watch these new dark ones.
Really?
I
Oh,
do
Why
not
do you
like.
kill me?
I hate that part,
I
but
don't like
everything
darkness.
else is
I just
so good.
They're more realistic.
That's
what
why I
like.
love it. I remember
Fine.
when they were leaking, or they did leak, the Joker's heist scene in the beginning.
Yeah,
That came
Oh
out before the
my
movies
God.
for the very first movie, or second
it was at a
movie?
Comic-Con. The second movie, The Dark
I
Knight.
was,
Yeah.
I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Ah.
And it's probably for the same reason that I read trashy comedy romance. I just
Yeah.
want,
Janet
I want
Ivanovich.
fluff. Yeah.
I got a couple of those I need to get back to. But
You know-
they're very good.
They are funny. I'll give you that. I think I want to give them another try. They were enjoyable.
Not all of them. I mean, some of them you wouldn't like, but there's the ones, the Stephanie Plum ones. That's a detective or
Yeah.
bounty hunter kind of.
And it's just
situation.
wacky fun. Is that the
Right.
one with like the monkey involved?
Oh,
And
there's
yeah, just super
there's a
weird
rat
stuff.
running down
Her
the street.
car
I-
is constantly dying or exploding,
blowing
and
up.
being
It always
destroyed.
explodes. Her partner is a very large black hooker.
And
who
I
wears
actually-
spandex clothes that are quite too small.
I was like 5 pages in on the first book that you loaned me of hers, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm 5 pages in. It's pretty interesting so far. Her car just got blown up by a random drive-by bazooka gangster thing. She's like, yeah, that happens a lot. What? All right, I guess I'm kind of roped in here now.
Yeah,
That's,
they're
all
pretty
right.
clever. I just like soft. I mean, the world is hard when you work.
Sorry.
When you work, when things are sad. I mean, if you have a sad work, the last thing you need to do is have a dark and heavy anything, book or movie. You just want.
I can't do
an
like the super
escape.
heavy movies. I don't mind the kind of. I don't know. Would you consider like Dresden when it gets?
Some of it
is very dark. But
Like-
he lightens it with his humor.
And I will read books like that. The last one I was talking about this last podcast, that trilogy I just read. It's dark premise, but the humor is just, it's there. I mean, it's dead
I
on.
do like the humor. I guess if the premise is dark, there's enough humor. And
Yeah.
the ending doesn't leave me. I do not like ending a book.
With a
where-
cliffhanger.
Or they're dead.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we went through this whole thing. Oh, yeah, by the way, we killed them off.
Right.
We said, what the fuck? Why did I
What's that?
invest this time in this
Well,
character?
except that, like with Dresden, when he died, you knew,
Dead.
you knew there was
Spoiler.
something around it.
Yes,
Right.
I know. Still a spoiler.
That's 4 books ago. 3
Whatever.
books ago. I don't know. See, the way that you have to look at a book like Dresden, it's along the same lines of Buffy and Angel combined, as far as the TV series. And I was talking to you about this, I think, last week. Where,
Yes.
Buffy and Angel are not meant to be watched independently. You're not supposed to watch all of Buffy in one sitting. You're not supposed to watch
Because it's
all of
too
Angel.
Which is what
rough.
I did.
No, you're supposed to balance them out. You watch the first 3 seasons of Buffy,
Yeah.
and then you alternate Buffy, Angel, Buffy, Angel, Buffy. Because the way he wrote those series is he knew that this particular season of Buffy was going to be really dark and really hard. And so that particular season of Angel was light and fluffy.
Puppet Angels.
Yes.
I love that episode so much.
And vice versa. There was a really dark, deep season of
With
Angel.
Connor.
Yeah, with Connor.
God,
and,
that was
and,
hard.
And the whatever her name is, the Glory or not Glory, the one who
Yeah, Glory's in Buffy.
Yeah.
the chick from
Multiple
Firefly. Zoe.
Oh, Zoe.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But then that season of Buffy was a lot lighter because he used those 2 series because he knew that they had the same audience to kind of balance each other up. For example, the season where Buffy dies.
Yeah.
The first time or the second time?
Well, she dies the first time in the first episode or in the first season.
Yeah.
The second time when she dies. That's when they cut WB and they went to UPN. She and that's where she dies saving I forget Michelle Traxinger's Dawn's life.
Yeah.
That season of Angel. I don't know how familiar you are with Angel.
I didn't watch very much Angel. The only reason I watched Buffy, because I didn't watch it when it first came out. I watched it when I was up in the middle of the night with a newborn, and it was on at
It just
2
happened to be
and 3
on.
in the morning, back-to-back episodes every night.
Okay.
So I got through the whole, I think all of them
Yeah.
in those several months, because I could watch 10 episodes every week.
At the same thing, I came to visit you and you were taping, recording, whatever, Next Generation. Because you're doing the same thing I did. There's nothing on during daytime TV.
There's not.
Yeah.
That's how I got into Star Trek, is because I would come off my senior year of high school, go home at like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. I had 2 hours to 3 hours off before my job, so I'd watch 1 episode of Next Generation and 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine.
Well, this was another Next Generation I told you a couple times recently. There was one on that I've never seen.
Yeah.
I've seen the same ones 30 times, and then
that's how it happens.
right. So there was another one I recorded, but I was going to say about Buffy. I just turned her on, I think yesterday, for the first time in years since I watched it all the way through.
Which one?
It is where she just comes back. They're talking about how she had run away, and
Musical?
they're trying to show her a party. They're
Oh.
throwing a party, and the zombies come
yes.
in because of the mask from
Mhm.
Willow. So it's a pretty early one.
Yeah.
And I was thinking while I was watching it, this is such a dark show. It's
Oh,
sad.
yeah.
It's depressing. Why did I watch all these in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't. That episode was.
Yeah.
So that, like
Yeah.
you're saying,
That's just it. That season where she dies,
that's
which
where
is
Angel
which is
left. This is the episode
oh,
after everything happened with Angel.
Ah.
So if Angel starts out on a comedic note, that must be why this one was so
does.
hard.
and when Buffy dies, which is just brutal.
Hmm.
Okay. Even the lead up to that is dark and depressing and horrible. It's good, but it's heart wrenching. That season of Angel is they travel to a parallel universe because Cordelia's been kidnapped, and
Oh, is that what they call her? A cow, and
yeah.
music is like this
And-
unknown thing, and they consider you crazy.
do the dance of joy. Now do the dance of shame. And it's just ridiculous, quirky hilarity. It's so funny. And then the very end of the last episode, that's where they pick up Winifred
Yep.
in the parallel universe, and it's all great and happy, and it all ends on a giant, happy, upbeat thing. And then they go back to the hotel that's kind of their base of operations, and they walk in, and there's Willow, and she's got tears running down her cheek.
I totally forgot about that. Like,
And that's the
we
end of-
this is
that's
the
her
second
there
time
to tell
today.
Angel that
Just
Buffy
goosebumps.
Yeah, and it's and
See,
then
and I never watched The Angel. I don't know how I got through all the sad Buffys, but this one, I mean, that was just a depressing one, and
There was a
I
lot of
didn't
them.
end up
Yeah,
watching
there
the
were.
whole thing. I think we left. Or
like
Lauren and I stopped, and I told her this. And Josh Whedon, I've listened to a couple of podcasts with him and like all the director's cuts with him. He flat up will say, "He's like, yeah, Buffy was like I'm going to art school and learning how I'm doing it.
that's how
Like
they
it
made the
is
movie.
so rough
I
Yeah.
did
The
watch
first
the
couple-
original movie again.
with Pee Wee Herman.
Terrible.
I think it's
Not
funny though.
Ah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's a cute
It's
movie.
cute.
It is.
And now the kids, my two teenagers are old enough. One of them was like, "What is this?" But it was interesting. I
Yeah.
kind of liked it. It's
This is
old.
it's
clearly old.
90210 Jason Priestley.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
my
he
God.
was cute.
Yes, he was. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was a good one.
So that's interesting. Hey,
Wow.
we all know. I know something geeky like you guys.
I know.
A little bit of geeky,
too.
Hey.
By the way, we talked on the last podcast about you playing those Lego games. I
Yeah.
would come in and you would be like, "Well, Mike wanted to get this last key thing for so and so," and I'm like, "Okay, but I've played this level before. You've already got the key. You're
No,
just
well,
playing to play at this point."
what I do is he likes to play through all the levels.
Mm-hmm.
but
And
I
you
like
go
to
back and
finish
collect all the
everything.
stuff.
I like to get like.
Okay, I
hero,
got the gold
100%
brick. I
hero.
have.
So that's what I do.
all
I'll
the-
spend 3 hours on one level, and I want to get 100% of the coins, and I want to get the red brick, and I want to get the
So
gold brick.
here's my problem and that's how I introduced Sav to Batman.
Yeah.
We played on my 360. Played quote unquote Lego Batman, where I'd
Mhm.
hand her the controller that was unplugged, and I would play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she loved it, and that's how I got her into it. Well, now she's at the point where she actually wants to play. So this past Christmas, I got her the new Lego Batman game for my Xbox.
Yeah.
I can't play it.
Why not?
I don't get it. I can't get past levels. I'm like,
I can't either.
it's not telling me
You
what the
don't play.
fuck to do.
There was
So
a
I-
Lego DC, or I don't know if it was DC or Batman 2 with the DC heroes or whatnot, and I was watching.
That's
I was
pretty much
playing with
what
your
this
kids,
was.
and I was like, I don't know
think.
what the fuck I'm doing
Well,
here.
here's
Yeah,
the,
I'm like,
here's the deal with it.
what
I
the
actually,
hell?
because of that game,
Yeah.
I talked to the guys who GameStop because I'm just a mom. I can put on the stupid mom face and talk to these people and be like, okay, so we want a new Lego game that we can play together, but that game was really hard and we can't figure out how to get from level to level because there's
Yeah.
no hub. So
No.
it's not a linear story.
There's no
Yes.
hub, and not only that, it's each level. I would just be stuck. Like I couldn't go somewhere. I couldn't do this, and
It's
there's
very
nothing
weird.
telling me what to do. And
Yeah,
it's so intricate that I'm like, I don't.
And I don't
don't
like
get
the
it.
city. I like that middle. If there's a middle thing like the city where you drive around all the time, that's fun for a moment. But to have to constantly be trying to drive around and figure out because you can't just go to the Batcave and be like.
I think
"I'm
this
gonna go
one's
level 2, now I'm gonna go
slightly
level
different
3."
though.
or even
Is
Star
this the
Wars, where
third
you
one?
would go back to like you always.
Yeah,
went
the
to
I love
cantina.
Star
or
Wars
something.
and the Harry Potter ones where
Same.
there's a place.
Okay, I go to the
that you
cantina.
can
We go to the
access
next one.
everything from.
Got this.
Exactly, and
the
they
latest-
don't have that.
The Marvel one that I just
The
played.
Marvel does.
It has well, and not only
It has
that,
the
but
carrier.
It's got plates like. You can only use a character that has this power on this plate, which what some of the other
Yes,
games have.
and it.
The DC one, I'm like, it took me a long time to figure out that, okay, in order to get Batman to be able to climb up to this part here on top of the water spout, I had to use Superman's freeze breath to freeze the water spout
Right.
so that Batman could jump onto it
and
get
that's
up
where
to the
he's
top
getting
part.
stuck. But that's
Son
what
of
But
a
the
there's no
guys.
icon to say you have to
No,
be Superman.
and that's what throws me off because the last Lego
Right.
game I played was the Marvel one, and it's all that they're like, oh hey, you have to use Thor's electricity to get through this, or
So,
Magneto
and
to
that
put
was, I
everything
think, the
together.
problem. That's why the Marvel one was easy because prior to that, the
Ah-ha-ha.
Batman one was so hard, and that's what the guys at GameStop said is that game, or they'd started making them that way.
I don't like the new way.
No, and it wasn't linear, and it didn't have a central.
Ooh, I
point.
hope the Jurassic Park one's different.
Did you watch?
They seem to be going back because Marvel is after. Marvel is
You're
the most
right.
recent one.
Yes, it
So
is.
they've actually maybe
No, it
they
isn't.
No, Jurassic World just came out.
Well, I know. But
No,
I mean,
but Batman was after. This newest Batman was after the Marvel
Which
DC.
newest Batman?
I'll pull it up. It's with like the Green Lantern Corps and stuff.
Yeah, we have that one.
Oh, is it that one you're talking about?
We have that one.
Did you watch the first?
Or maybe we
15
bought them out
this
of
week?
order.
On Penny Arcade, first 15, they played the first 15 minutes of Lego Jurassic World, and it starts off with the Raptor exchange in the first Jurassic Park movie.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Shoot her! That whole scene.
Oh,
It's-
yes.
Yeah, it's really.
Clever girl.
And they keep talking about how do they keep knocking it out of the park with every one of these goddamn games.
Yeah.
They do.
They really do.
They're very
The
good.
Lego games, for the most part, except for this one Batman game, have been stellar.
Yeah.
They're my
do,
go-to mindless game I will play.
But it was the Harry Potters that I really liked because they were so, and the Star Wars, I guess, too.
I
Because
like the Star Wars.
I want to go to the cantina. I want to do 1, 2, 3. Then I want to go next door and do 4, 5, 6. I want to be able to wipe them out all in order, and you can't do it with the Batman. Not when you're going to Arkham for the bad guys and the good guys.
Okay.
Even theirs kind of okay, but not that last one because there was nowhere to get.
No
to
central
anywhere.
location. It's all a pain in the
I don't
ass.
like it.
No, I agree.
I got it. Okay.
So there you are.
Still good games. We like the Lego games. I don't even know how we got on that. I don't know.
I don't know. We keep coming back to that one.
No.
You said something, Jason, about the Holocaust being a myth, and then we started talking about Legos.
What?
That's where that came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that was it.
So
There's
Yes.
that guy.
what is WAGW?
That was how I was. What a Girl Wants. I was trying to remember myself.
alright.
Also, behind it, I was trying to remember that an old movie that I love, and I think it's funnier than anything, and you love it too. Wildcats with Goldie Hawn.
Oh my God, yes.
Love that movie.
UGLI. You ain't got no alibi. You ugly. You
What?
ugly. Your mama say you ugly. Yeah.
I don't know that. That kind of
She's
sounds
a,
like.
it's so
She's
good.
a female. Is it college or high school? High school football coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mom can feel the rotation of the earth. Alice, you're drunk.
Good one.
It was cute.
Yeah, there was another Goldie Hawn one that did. What were we talking about before with your sister?
Oh,
Overboard.
She loves that movie, so I can text her. And she just laughs.
Which reminds me,
What?
Oh,
have a
you
story
wanted
to
to
tell
talk
us.
Oh,
a story.
I have a story.
this is going to be a comic.
I don't know, because now you just referenced it.
It doesn't matter. Nobody listens to this. It's like what's
Yeah,
the,
there's 13 people that have listened to
What's-
our
If
biggest
it's just
podcast
us,
right now.
Speaking of great
Only us.
classic
Yeah.
movies, Major League. You can't swear on the radio. Nobody's fucking listening.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I do like. See, I like
Bob
Major
Uecker.
League.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and a young Charlie Sheen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Young Charlie Sheen.
Still coked out.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
God,
sure.
yes.
And Corbin Burnson
Uh huh.
and
Who's the
Wesley
girl?
Snipes
Was it Wesley Snipes?
is the guy, the
The
runner.
runner?
Yeah. The
Man,
girl
he's
was,
way thin in that. And he didn't break taxes. Weird.
Yeah, right. The girl was the same. Is it Rene Russo?
I don't know. I
How
can't.
bad is
I
it that
can't
can
remember.
I don't know. And then the main character, whose name I always forget. But anyway, soon to be replaced by Scott Bakula. So a thing happened.
Oh, the story. Well,
Yes.
you're gonna. I want the story to be a comic.
It's going to be a comic.
It's not as clever when I tell it because I'm not very funny.
Yes, you are. You told it to me, and I laughed.
A little bit. I don't start well.
You
I
tell
don't
this, and
do
I'll tell you the Tower Records story.
You're gonna tell that to the world, are you?
Yeah.
Are you gonna tell the part 2 of the Tower Records
I
story?
think
tell the
you've
whole
told
thing.
the
It's a
Tower
big one.
Records story.
It's a big one.
It's several parts. It's like A, B, and C.
Yeah,
We need
so
an
maybe I will
outline and
tell
a rough
maybe I
draft.
will tell the Tower Records story. Anyway. So,
Oh, we got time. You're doing both now.
fuck.
Oh boy, how much
Okay.
time? I don't even know how to start this story.
I gotta tell you, we've had a couple of podcasts where it's been like, he's like, okay, well, and thanks for joining us. I'm like, what the fuck? We just started. He goes, no, we've been going for like an hour and 15 minutes. I'm like, oh god. And then there's other ones like,
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
at like 40 minutes.
yeah, I've been like, hey, how long
Already
has it
on
been?
this
You're
one?
like, 12 minutes. So,
Oh,
so
that,
your
those
story.
days you're not very entertaining. I take
I
it.
guess. Well, it's usually our guests, but we're zooming by here, so.
Oh, I'm a good guest.
Yay!
Gingers are
Ooh. It's because you say anything because you don't care because you don't have a soul. So.
True story.
Okay. So the story, and I don't know, because for many people will understand. A woman was folding laundry when her small child came up and was babbling in the background, blah, blah, blah. Mom, I did this, blah, blah, blah. Made my own hand sanitizer, and I put glitter, and I had a little bit of hand sanitizer left, and I sprayed my Tinkerbell perfume so it would smell good. But now when I rub it in my hands, it won't rub in. It's just slimy. And then the mom starts click, 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 thinking backwards. What did I just hear? Blah, blah, blah. Found this almost empty bottle in your nightstand.
Oh, God.
And then you look. Oh, yeah, the nightstand. The bottle is a bottle of spunk.
That's the name of the product.
Name of the product.
That was actually the name of it, was spunk.
Motion lotion.
Spunk. Motion lotion spunk. So the little child had taken the spunk and had added hand sanitizer and glitter and perfume and now had the product as her own lotion that she'd made.
Because it's not horrifying enough that a little girl is rubbing motion lotion all over her hands. It's mommy's motion lotion all over her hands.
Yes.
Wow.
And the product is still in the child's room because at this point, there it is.
It's there forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and say that it is not you that this happened to.
No.
It is someone that you know. You're going to take the bullet for this person.
I am.
And I'm going to put you in the comic in that position.
It's going to be me in the comic, so it's my spunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the defense, because the child could read, the label had been peeled off, so it just was like a little clear bottle.
Oh well, that's not.
The mom just knew it was spunk and knew where it came from. Second story related to that too.
How do you let this happen twice?
Right. Well, it almost happened. A smaller child was helping mommy clean up before a move.
Is this the same mommy?
It's the same mommy.
Uh-huh.
And a different child, but the same mommy. The little child held up a skeleton key. Mom, where does this go? Mom's eyes dart to the bedside table. And then she's like, I think it's the bathroom downstairs, because doesn't the bathroom downstairs have this huge key like that? Yeah, Mommy, I'm going to go try it on that door. Daddy from downstairs, that's not that bathroom key. That doesn't go there.
Shut up!
I need her away from this dresser before she figures out what it really opens.
Take the hint, husband.
Take the hint, husband. Get her away from my room.
Wow, yeah, so...
That was also the same person who, I think we were down in Florida at the time. And I remember we're at a bus stop waiting for this bus to come. It's you, me, and this person. And you and I get on the bus, and all of a sudden this bus driver stops her and goes, "Or are you going to pay?" But I thought we'd just get on. I didn't know.
You just got on buses?
And, we thought it was a free, trolley.
Oh, okay.
And so she's now, almost in tears. And this lady comes up to her and paid for her. She's like, I think the lady thought it was special.
The special story was the post office.
Oh, there was another. Perfect.
Her special. She was at the post office and having one of those days where you're just a freaking idiot.
She's going to hear this and get so pissed off.
I know.
Because I've got a story about her, too.
We love you.
She was trying to buy a book of stamps, and, you had to put something in a quarter. So she put the bills in. And she's sitting there putting the quarter in, and it keeps shooting back out. Put the quarter in, it comes back out. Put the quarter in, it comes back out. Staring at the machine like, what the hell is wrong with this machine? It won't take my quarter. And a little old lady ambles up and says, "Oh, honey, you have to put it in the coin slot. That's the return." She said, I think the lady thought it was special.
Mom, that's me do laundry on Thursdays.
And she's the most intelligent woman. I don't know what was happening there, but yeah, that's the change return at the post office.
Wow.
Yeah.
We were at, actually there's two stories about her. One was when we were at a Halloween party, and we all decided to dress up as Addams Family figures. And I went as,
Fester.
No, Fester.
Uncle Fester.
Dan was Lurch.
Dan went as Lurch. You went as Wednesday.
Right.
She went as Morticia, and my fiance went as the Cat in the Hat.
Right. Because the Cat in the Hat fit the theme well.
Yeah, so I would like green eggs and eat green eggs and ham with Lurch, whatever.
Yeah.
So there's two stories.
Oh, God.
Involving that night.
What
One was when she was trapped downstairs. Some guy was hitting on her mercilessly.
Yes.
You're from where? Well, you got the sexiest legs from that whole town, I guarantee it. And finally, because I sat down right next to her while the guy was just digging in as much as he possibly could. And I was trying not to laugh, and I finally get up and I walked away and I yelled down the stairs to her. I said, "Hey, blah, blah, blah. Your sister wants to see you. She comes up the stairs. She's like, thank you. And then the other one, a mutual friend of ours, she was there as a vampire and drunk off of her skunk, which was pretty much her default setting. Hammered. And so we're sitting in the living room. This is at the Max. No surprise. We're sitting in the living room.
Wait, drinking at the Max?
I
That
know.
never happens there.
Bad things never happen.
God,
over
no. That's not where I saw explosives made the first time.
Yeah.
First time.
Me and Jenny and this other person, my first fiance, and another friend of ours, Mike. And we're sitting around, and drunk friend walks in. And she is, to describe it best, voluptuous. She is very well built, even what was that, 25 years ago? I don't know. It's just smoking hot.
Just chesty is all it was.
She's very busty.
That really appeals to the teenage boy brain.
It does. And she's also uber blonde. And anyway, so she's there with her boyfriend at the time. Falls over. He took a guess. He wrote it on a piece of paper, and it's not a bad guess, but it's not. No, that's not. So falls over, and she's dressed as a vampire. Hold on a second. I'm
writing the answer.
Writing the answer now. She's dressed as a vampire. Falls over. Her head lands right next to me because I'm sitting on the floor next to the couch, and she falls over on the couch, and she goes, "I want to suck your blood," and then clamps her lips onto my neck and basically just makes out with my neck, which was not bad. And she's basically just, at this point, she's rubbing her tongue on my neck and like up into my ear and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting ear fucked. This is happening. This is the thing that's happening right now. Yep, this is
good for me. Okay. This is great.
Yep. And then
Cat, don't turn around.
And then
please, cat in the hat, don't turn around.
The boyfriend, honey, what are you doing? Come on, let's go, honey. Come on. Hey, you're drunk. Come on, you're drunk. And finally drags her away. And I go like this, and I get the lipstick off my neck, and I look around, and my fiance didn't see anything, and our mutual friend that Mike didn't see anything, and you didn't see anything, and Dan didn't see anything. I'm like, phew. And then I look over at our Mr. and she's laser just staring at me like, I fucking saw that. And I was like, it's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
Don't tell anybody that happened.
And then the other story I have involving her.
You have three?
We should have her.
Jesus, I know.
She's going to have to come in the next one.
We share.
Defend herself.
We share a god child.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're at the church for her Christmas.
Oh, please tell me this is with my dad and Dave.
Well, they were fucking around with me the whole time. We're standing up there holding the baby, and he's making your dad's making animal faces and whatnot. But no, we're because this person, she's not religious. She certainly doesn't know anything about Catholic procedures. No, neither did you. But I grew up Catholic until I reached the age of reason, and so we're sitting next to each other.
Sanity.
Yeah, and she says, "Do I need to recite anything? Do I need to say anything?" No. They'll tell you what to do. Did you memorize the song? What? The Godmother song. Did you memorize the song? What are you talking about? The Godmother song. And I think my dad was kind of giggling behind me because he heard me. I'm not sure. I'm like, the Godmother song. It's the Godmother song. And I'm watching the color just blanch from her face as she's getting paler and paler. She's like, there's not a song. No, I'm just fucking with it. But the look of just sheer white terror on her face, totally worth it.
You're so mean. She's such a nice person.
She's just the sweetest person on the planet.
And that's why he did it.
That's exactly why I did it. Easy targets.
Oh, boy.
Low-hanging fruit. Just, oh, boy.
The Godmother song. You're a dickhead.
The Godmother song.
Such a dick.
How have I not made that a comic?
I don't
Write it down.
Well,
Yep.
You just had the pencil.
You have tons of ideas. With which
We
to
all
go.
do.
I have a stack. Literally.
Stack and then
a
bunch of
stack
emails.
Too. But if I write down Godmother song, that'll get us there.
That will be.
That's so bad.
So, just the sweetest person on the planet.
Oh.
All these stories, these are 25 years in the making. These are
Oh,
not,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. You don't get this overnight.
Yeah, by the way, 25 years, I got 3 stories. That's not huge. I've got like 5 stories of you, and 3 of those are from tonight, dude.
Probably.
So.
I mean, with the hookers and all?
I've got a couple of humdingers for you. That's.
Was that Mac parties or?
No, well.
Like the time you tried to kill me.
Did I try to kill you?
Well, by accident when I lost my shit because you decided to go on a red.
On a what?
on a red light when we were driving.
Oh yeah.
And this car was like inches away from
and by
fucking
losing his shit. Okay, here's the thing. There's an intersection in our area that's crazy. It's a sharp curve on Northwest Highway. You can either go straight into downtown Connecticut,
which is a turn lane.
Which is a turn.
The straight is the turn lane.
I'm in the turn lane.
The right is the.
Right. So I'm in the.
And
I'm
straight
in the
ahead
lane.
of the straight is train tracks.
There's train tracks. The train's down. Ding 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 ding. Okay, good fine. Well, there's no cars coming. All right. The train gates go up. Oh, train gates are up. I just go.
Yeah, because he saw a change because he was zoning out.
I just go.
So the light's still green and traffic's coming, and it's a 45 on that intersection.
And a car missed us by like a couple feet.
No, it was inches, asshole.
You know what's odd?
I was staring at the fucking driver.
This is like 15 years ago, too.
Still remember.
We pulled into a store, and your poor brother, like, oh God, I broke him. Oops, my bad.
That's like the only red light I've ever run is because of that intersection too. And I didn't run that one. I ran the one right before it because I was staring at that light.
Yes.
Because they're too close.
I've had
together.
that problem.
They are too close to each other.
In Palatine, though, right by the public library on Route 14, by Baker Square.
Yeah.
That light, I ran and got hit briefly, and because I was looking at the light by St. Thomas.
Right,
because they're
far
perfect.
Apart. Right, I know.
And I end up looking, the damage on my little car, whatever, was so perfect. It was the, what do you call it? It was the screws holding the other car's license plate in. The two dents that were in my car. That was the only damage I had.
So they barely clipped you.
Yep.
The story I have for you, this is
another one?
This is a mentoring story. This was...
Oh, I know where we're coming.
If you don't mind.
No, yeah, I have it.
Freshman in high school.
I was fucking horrified.
His grades plummeted because two reasons. One,
I was on Accutane.
And two, you're on Accutane.
And I got super depressed. Like, that's one of the side effects is horrible depression. It fucked me up.
Which it's like, hey, I hope you're feeling better because you don't have any acne anymore, but you're depressed, so...
So you're probably going to try to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Well, hey, hold on here.
So that's, but his grades had plummeted, or your grades had plummeted, and we're working at the haunted house. And your dad called Dan.
I also don't have a phone yet.
None of us did. Not all of us had cell phones. Dan had a cell phone because he works in cell phones. But anyway, your dad called Dan and said, get him home now. So Dan told me, because I had driven you, he was like, you got to get home. I'm like, okay. We're driving home. You're shitting a brick. You're like, you're gonna lose it. You're like, I'm gonna die. This is it. It's nice knowing you. And so I said, I'm gonna give you the advice that my dad gave me years ago. Walk in there right off the bat and say, I fucked up. I know I screwed up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do everything I can to make it better. And you're totally gonna take the wind out of their sail. And you did, and it did. For the most part.
After you literally shit on the way home, I think.
Well, I did. We had to stop at like a Target or something.
No, it's my house. You said, can we stop at your house because I don't think I'm going to be able to go to the bathroom at home for a while, and I kind of really need to go. I'm like, yeah, sure, fine. So we get home, and you destroyed my brother's bathroom. You curled the wallpaper.
Yes, I did.
The cat
it was
passed
awesome.
out. It was Glock. I'm like, hey, you okay there, dude? It's just, it was epic.
Yeah, at the haunted house we ate like shit though.
Oh God, it was your dad's chili.
It was like a nervous stomach.
It was
a nervous stomach on top of chili, Taco Bell, and KFC. So that's a fine mix.
And it would have been and ho hos because
I was there.
Oh yeah,
like
and hot chocolate.
And the hose. Oh, and the hot chocolate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was not exact. Can somebody just give me a freaking some dandelions or something? I'll just. Something healthy remotely. Ugh.
No, that was a bad night.
Yeah, but you know what? You got off the Accutane, you turned yourself around.
Ish.
People talk about the negative side effects of meth. Nobody talks about the positive. So good for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep. Oi. So the other thing about you were talking about Amazon Prime earlier.
Yeah, I like ordering stuff online because then I don't have to have social interaction with people.
Because you kind of have severe social anxiety disorder.
Not near as bad as it used to be. The fire department physically had to break me because it was either you're going to get over this or we're going to fire you.
Well, yeah, you've got to ask patients.
Yeah, and talk to them and be personable. And it took me years to get over it. And in my job, I could do it for the most part because it's my comfort zone. It's what I've trained for. But the way I describe introvertedness and social aspects is you have a fine night of social. I could go to a party and I could talk. At that point, I'm going to hit a point somewhere in the party where, fuck this, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
I can't talk to people. I can't do anything. I have to go home and I have to recharge. Is the only way to describe it. You have to go and you have to like sit in a quiet room or read a book and no one fucking come in and talk to me.
I think the three of us here all grasp the absolute necessity of alone, quiet time.
Yeah.
But I have, and I mean, I don't, who knows why or where, but I also have extreme social issues. But I like to tell people now. As I got older, I realized the best thing I can do. As it turns out, people just thought I was a bitch.
Yeah, if you
My
say to
Really?
somebody,
life.
I'm uncomfortable with these situations, they deal with it. Isn't
Right.
that amazing? I
Well,
didn't know that
it's
either.
the weirdest thing. When I was younger, everybody thought I was mean, thought I was a bitch, thought I was like thinking I was better than them, and I was just terrified of speaking. So now when I meet somebody kind of one-on-one and they're like, oh, you want to come over for a party, or, you know, we do this, we have barbecues in the backyard, and I'll say, well, thank you, but I have a really hard time with social situations. I really don't like being with people, you know, more than one or two people. I just can't handle it. Then it turned out that kind of gets around, and
Yeah.
people say, oh, she doesn't talk, and somebody say, oh, you know what, she's very
Socially introverted.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't hate people. It's just sometimes I don't have the ability to speak to anyone.
Yeah. Or just the ability to muster doing that. You're like,
Yeah.
Sometimes
I
you
need
just don't
to.
have it in
I
you.
can't do this.
Yeah.
And I sort of started doing the same thing. I have a captain who I can't tell when he's joking.
Oh.
I can't perceive, and like I look at other people for sure social cues because I know they're clicking and not. And I've come to the point where like if he's one-on-one with me, I'm like, look, I can't tell when you're joking, when you're being serious. So I'm just gonna treat him all like you're serious. I'm sorry. I told him, I was like, what? I'm like, I don't comprehend it. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
I knew that you had social issues, like I do too, but I've gotten so good at just letting one of the other voices in my head drive for a while that I don't. You know,
Yeah, especially that little girl. She talks so
yeah,
much.
She's a sweetie. But I put on this different face. I call him Jack. Remember I wrote on the board last time the different personality names. Well, I actually named them. It's not. They're not actual different personalities. Yeah, but there's different. When I just am putting on the party face, because I'm the guy who I'd much rather be at home reading a book or just talking to one person in a corner like this, the three of us together.
Oh, this is fun.
This is great. I love this. If there was 30 people here and I was trying to entertain all of them, Jack would be driving. I would be doing whatever.
I shut down. I make myself busy now.
Well, and I shut down and he takes over, and that's fine by me. He's funny. He's the funniest guy you ever fucking meet. It's not me. But
it is you.
Well,
it's part of your personality.
It is. But
it's your defense mechanism.
That's it exactly. I knew you had some issues like that, Jay, but I didn't realize the extent of it until you know what it was that told me. It was like, oh, this is a real thing. Was when your friend Pat had the bachelor party, and you had to have somebody else call the leather and lace company.
Yeah, the strippers and topless waitresses. Yeah. I can't do phones.
Yeah,
I can't call on
phones. Is a big one.
It hurts
phones
me
are so
bad.
Hard. I have a really hard time. The worst are blind phone calls, like with the little kids. You get an invitation like RSVP to Sally by this date, and I will stare at it for a week. I'll stare at it until it's like the last second or until I miss the deadline because I can't pick up the phone to call a stranger. And it's stupid. They've given me the card. I mean, clearly they're expecting my call.
Yeah. And
I still can't do it. Well, I don't like placing orders.
I think.
Well, and thankfully with that's what we were getting at is like even for food orders, you could do them online now. Like there's a local pizza joint. I ordered. I looked at the coupon and said, or order online. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna do that. I don't have to talk to anyone. Mm-hmm. Even the driver, I just nodded to and signed the receipt and said thank you.
See, I did telemarketing for a while, which sucked, and then I also did customer service, and that's where Jack came from. He's the guy who takes over when he's got a great phone voice.
Oh, you know what's weird? I kind of probably have like that same thing. It's not a separate person, but I could. The best way to describe it is you shut. Yeah, it's just you act. You're acting at this point.
That's it exactly.
Okay, cool. I do car seat installs, so I have to talk to the public. Oh, hi, how are you? My name's Jason. What are you looking? How many car seats? When are you looking to come in? And I could do that salesman bullshit, but it's all learned. It's all fake. It's not me.
And we were talking before about your daughter, Kirsten, high functioning autism, Asperger's, whatever you want to call it. I watched her. Oh boy, I want to say it was at the Max Pig roast a few weeks ago, and I watched her watching a conversation, and she's picking up. She's watching people's facial expressions, studying like I don't know how to describe it.
Well, that's how she's learned to understand what other people are saying. She doesn't hear it in their voice.
Right.
She doesn't see it.
Which is why she hates talking on the phones, I found out.
Yeah, she hates the phone.
She hates it because she can't pick up on the social cues that she picks up by looking at your face.
Yeah.
But that was, that's odd because truly, one of the definitions of autism is that you can't read a face.
Right.
But it's like the learned thing. When she was 6 and we were learning, like when you place an order at a restaurant, you have to look someone in the eyes, and she was giving them the spooky big eyes. Ooh, because she didn't know to what extent to give eye contact. So she's very observant of people, and she's a very good listener.
Yes, and I think she's also good at picking up, maybe not reading faces, but reading, okay, I know that laughter is a sarcastic laugh, and I should laugh in kind. Or
but she's learned that over time.
Yeah. Right.
It's a developed thing
for
her.
It is,
That's it.
yeah. She has to learn it. It doesn't just...
And I was watching, I was like, I told Dan about it, I was like, she's kind of a ninja at this. She's really good at picking this up.
So the other day, I had worked my ass off. I had
Was this last Sunday?
Yeah.
I felt so bad for you, dude.
I had 42 hours of overtime in a week. So 1 week I had 42 extra hours of work. I had no time off. I taught on top of that for one of the classes. And Lauren came by work, and I told her, I'm getting just hosed on the ambulance. I didn't sleep that night. I ended up being. She came in earlier in the day. And I told her, I just need to be alone. I can't. I need a break right now. We had plans. I cancel them. I just can't do it. I was way super past that point of social recharge. I can't. And I come home, and following back on I'm super tired, and the house is a mess. And that pisses me off because when I leave for work, it's usually pretty clean because I will clean the house. If I'm gone for just a day and it's like a goddamn tornado came in, I'm going to be pissed. And especially with the kitchen, because the kitchen's my area. I do almost all the cooking and everything. I came in, there was so many dishes, they were strewn on the counter too, just dirty dishes unwashed. I'm like, we have a fucking washing machine right there.
You have a cool washing machine that has a heads-up display.
Yes, it is, and it's awesome.
That's tits.
Well, that started, so I'm like, okay, I'm really pissed. And Lauren ended up waking up, and by the time I was done with the dishes, because I woke her up because of the sound, I'm like, sorry.
Which I'm sure you weren't being overly quiet.
No, and she came down, she's like, I'm really sorry, I've been really tired. I'm like, good thing I'm not tired right now when I'm doing these. I was just done. I'm like, I wasn't nice, and I apologized to her later, because I know I was a dickhead, but I was tired. And then at that point, she decides to tell me, oh yeah, we have to do this with these people. Oh, and when that's done, you have to come back and you have to do this, like someone's coming to install Windows or something. Oh, and when that's done, we have to go to your parents. Oh, and when that's done, you have to go here. Are you fucking I lit her up. Yeah. I'm like, I told you yesterday I needed to not be with people, and now you schedule me for my whole freaking day off when I need to go home and sleep at this point, and I don't even get a chance to do that. And so John's like, hey, you could come over, you could hang out. That's fine. Yeah, I had 2 hours to hang out with you.
We were going to go see a movie later on, but then the window guy took forever.
And it got to the point where I yelled at him to get out of my house. I'm like, and I told him flat, I'm like, I have been up for 36 hours. Please make this quick. An hour and a half in, and he's still dicking around. He did one of those things like, well, we could give you a deal and drop $2,000 on this price if you do it right now. We're not doing it now. We told you this on multiple times. Get the fuck out of my house.
Wow.
And just the look on his face was, I'm like, no, I'm done playing nice. I hit that limit. I was going nice. I was nice and polite for an hour and a fucking half.
Of estimates.
Yes.
Saying it like it was window installs. It was just an estimate.
Yeah, it was just an estimate. And that's all we were looking for. And we told him that. And he was dicking us around. And then Lauren was being polite about it. I'm like, enough. Get out of my house. Well, it's going to take me a couple trips to get. I'll help you move this shit outside for him. I'm like, you could get it at the door. Thank you. Click.
Wow.
I went upstairs and passed out. And then on top of that, and I love Sav, the 4-year-old that's running around, but when you're not sleeping and when you don't have that time to recharge, and having a 4-year-old in your face is not the best of things. And I try my best to reel everything in.
We were talking about that before with your dad. That the worst parts of not the worst parts, but a lot of the stuff that you remember when you were a kid, him being in just an awful grumpy mood, was when he was working.
Oh yeah, overnight, and then not sleeping because
he. It's called parenthood.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
You got. I mean, we truly months. I mean, like 3 months of not sleeping more than an hour or two at a crack. Try it. I mean,
With the newborn.
Yes.
I mean, and you don't have an option.
Yeah.
To scream at anybody at that point.
And that's the shade part. It's like,
yeah, DCFS gets involved, and that's grumpiness.
But that's to the point of my socials introvertness. I need alone time. And normally it's not like that. Lauren's really good about when I normally say it. And she's like, okay. Or we've learned, and we have a babysitter, either Kirsten or someone else, comes in on the day after my shift because I get boned. I run the ambulance most nights, and we are just always running. I may get an hour's sleep if I'm lucky.
I'll say that when I do, when I'm drawing one of the comics, and that's like a 3 or 4 hour process.
Oh, I don't doubt.
Nobody bothers me. The only one that bothers me is that cat. Meow, meow, meow. And I grab him, put him on my lap, and he falls asleep, and I keep drawing and whatever. And it's kind of like a little silent zone. I've got the music going in the background and whatnot, and
that's why I need to finish the basement. That's my problem. I need my alone space.
A little man cave action. Yeah, and you've got.
I'm never alone.
Yeah, that would kill me. I would die inside, and probably outside, to be honest.
I mean, you do have your office, which fortunately is separate as far as like when you're doing work.
Our doors are wide open, and the children are 5 feet away.
I don't get that. It's just. Your mother of the year, because all 3 of your kids are still alive. One of them would have been murdered by my hands at this point. And I don't think there's a judge that would have convicted. I don't think so. I've met your kids.
They're nice.
My godchildren.
Mean to my children.
All 3 of them are my god kids. Why? It's easier.
I'm not creative.
Yeah. Well.
And because we know John's filled with God.
Yeah. I should at this point.
Why are we not on fire?
I should have.
Where's the lightning?
My godparents have pretty much disowned me, and.
At that note,
yeah,
we're an hour and 3 minutes.
Are we really?
Yeah, I kept venting this out.
No,
you did.
Fine.
That was a long vent.
Sorry, it was a long
less
day.
Event and more tirade.
One last thing before we go. A report finally came in from I think it was the FDA that e-cigarettes are 95% healthier than regular cigarettes. So
which are death anyways. So yeah, that.
People have been talking
about. So they're
about.
only 5% death?
Well, yeah, hey, it's way better.
What do we know about these e-cigarettes? How do we know they're not just as harmful? How do we know they're not doing something worse? Well, we have a report. We're good.
Yay, science.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. Check us out on Facebook, /Apples in the Sink. Twitter on applesinthesink.com. CYRAX2112 on... What's that stupid app? Periscope for live comic feeds.
Google? No, YouTube.
YouTube. Apples in the Sink. Just type it in. And you'll have coming up tomorrow the first 10 podcasts.
Ooh, we're all fancy now.
Or no, 9?
10.
First 10 podcasts. And
thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a good time. We'll have you again.
Yep. Alrighty, kids.
Have a good night.
Good night.